Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're doing a special episode. We're live streaming today. I have not live streamed in a few months, so bear with me if I if I'm still here trying to figure things out. But I have a special guest with me. I have Lola here. Hi Lola.
Hi, Tiffany, and hi, everybody. Nice to meet you, Tiffany, and nice to meet you all. For those that I can't see, but still,
I
nice
know.
to meet you.
Yeah, so I wanted to have you on today because you have a short film that you are trying to make. And I will apologize in advance because if people come in late, I might have you repeat things. Just so,
Yeah.
people know like what's going on. Because I feel like sometimes people come in, they're like, what are you talking about? So just letting you
Okay.
know that ahead of time. But yeah, so we could just start off really with you. Or actually, I'll start off with how I found out about it. So Twitter. I was on Twitter and I came across a tweet of yours and it had like a ton of likes and retweets and that kind of caught my interest, and I saw the trailer for your short film and I thought it looked really interesting, and I assumed that the film was already made, so that's why I kind of initially had reached out to you and was like, oh, she would be cool to have on and talk about her film, because typically when I have guests on, they are independent filmmakers and they do short films and things like that. So I was like, oh, she'd be the perfect guest. And then you let me know, like, oh, the film hasn't been made yet. That's what I'm trying to do. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
this is cool too, because this is like something different for me. I've never really done anything like this. So that was how I found out about your film, how I found out about you. And you were nice enough to respond to me and just be like, yeah, even though we don't know each other, you were like, yeah, sure, I'll come on.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was how I found out. So I honestly don't know because we didn't follow each other prior. So I'm not sure if there was somebody that I follow that retweeted your tweet or if it just happened to come up on my timeline. But I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was how I found out.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah. Like my film's been getting a lot of traction recently. Should I talk about it? Like my film. So yeah, I am making a short film. And for those of you who don't know, I am in South Africa. I'm based in South Africa. So I'm making a short film called Naledi about a star athlete who has to come to terms with her debilitating grief in order to regain her confidence and finish a race. So it's a 2D animated short film, and yeah, it's gonna be 10 minutes. So I've been making this film for like the last 5 years. It's kind of inspired by, because like in school when I played sports, I did hockey and athletics, and I was great at those. Played at provincial level, wanted to eventually like play at national level, but that didn't happen because I had like some injuries on my knee. And then same year I was like made that was developing it because it was it was actually an internship assignment at first, because I just like continued to work on after the assignment. But yeah, my grandfather passed away that year, so then the film came more because it was like more about loss of career, but then it kind of like became more about grief, like loss of losing someone in your life, you know. So that's what how the film came about and how it's inspired, how what it's inspired by. And I've been working it for like the last 5 years. So that trailer that you saw, yeah, it's a teaser trailer. So we made a proof of concept, and it was like between 2021 and 2022. Came out at the end of 2022. So I had just made that as a proof of concept of what I wanted to make because I got funding, but the funding I had gotten wasn't like enough to make 10 minutes of animation. So I knew, but I was like, okay, I could probably make like 1 minute of high quality animation and probably like get more funds to make 10 minutes. So and that's been really great. Like trailer's awesome. It's probably the best thing I've done. Well, not probably. It's definitely the best thing I've made. So yeah, and I got a few awards for that and screened and won some pitch competitions. But my intent has always been to make 10 minutes. So yeah, so last year we tried to apply for grants and stuff. We got one grant, but the money's not been released to us yet. So we decided to do crowdfunding. So I think that's why I like you saw my trailer because it got like a lot of traction recently. Because since we started promoting a crowdfunding campaign, like in the pre-launch and like also like in the launch, got a lot of traction. So yeah, that's where I
Hmm.
am now.
So it's been a process then, huh?
Yeah, animation takes forever. Like literally yesterday. Oh yeah, it was yesterday. I was talking to, and it's my passion project. It's like my first like professional short. I was talking. I was at work, and then also like after work, I went to some other like event, and we're all talking about it. Like your first project always takes the longest to make, because you make the most mistakes in it. The one you learn from the most. Like you make other projects, and those go by super quickly. But the first one is like your baby, and it like takes the longest because like you're
Right.
making all the mistakes on that project. So it's the same with me. I even think I could would have done things better making the trailer. Um, but yeah, but this is where we are, and I'm really grateful for the journey because it's gotten places that I would not have expected so soon in my career. Because I've always wanted to be a director. Didn't know I'd be directing like so soon, like 2 years after like graduating university. Well, when we started making the trailer, I just graduated like 2 years prior. So yeah.
Yeah, that was actually one of the things I wanted to ask you about. How, like, when did this dream of yours start? Not specifically with this project, but just directing and getting into filmmaking.
So I've always loved drawing. So I always wanted to be an animator since a young age. And at one point, I just wanted like my drawings to move, but not just move, but like breathe life into them, and like have characters and also like represent people that didn't look like me. Because yeah, growing up, I didn't see like a lot of people that looked like me in TV and film. So I kind of like wanted to do that for like the younger generation. So I always wanted to be an animator. Always wanted to tell stories. Always wanted to direct because I like having a point of view. I feel like I have something to say, and I think that's like the job of the director is like make sure your film has a point of view and you have something to say. So and I also like considered writing as a career. So I also like want to write the films that I direct as well. So I've written this script as well for my film Naledi. But yeah, basically seeing a lack of representation and trying to do that for other people growing up now, and for myself as a child as well, and for me now as well to see more representation, not just on screen but off. Because also like in making this film, I also am trying to employ like other like black creators in my film, like animators, background designers. So yeah, I've always wanted to be an animator like since a young age. I'm fortunate that I've known what I wanted to do for like a long time. Most people like didn't figure it out until like later. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this too. When you mentioned Black creators, because I mean, I know you know that we don't always get afforded the same opportunities as our peers, and so I think it's important to be able to like put people on platforms and uplift them because I mean, you never know who will see this or who will reach out
Yeah.
to you, and you know what could come of that.
Yeah, for sure. Because I was having this conversation, like similar conversation with my aunt, about like just black people getting opportunities in general, this past week. And yeah, I was just thinking of my film, and it's like I believe my film is awesome, And I'm like, why am I struggling so much to finance it? Not that this is unique to me, like filmmakers everywhere in the world, like they struggle to like finance the films. A lot of films don't get made because they don't have the money to make them, no matter who you are. But I feel
Yeah,
like for black people, it's like so much more harder, and it's like why?
right.
Because
Like, why can't this just be easy?
yeah, like we all have great stories, like and like also on TikTok, I saw a TikTok it's like about someone talking about creatives, and I saw a comment, and someone was like all the quality now of like movies is slow and stuff. I'm like, no, it's just Hollywood like refusing to give people a chance because
Mhm.
I mean, like Star Wars and Jurassic Park, they were all once original IP, So like someone took a chance on them, like all those. So why not take a chance on people now? I think it's just because they're scared they don't want to lose money. But I like to believe like the next like Star Wars or Jurassic Park or Star Trek is going to come from somewhere in Africa. Maybe not necessarily South Africa, but I like to believe in Africa, because we have a wealth of stories. But you just need the platform because recently, in the past couple of years, especially since the pandemic, we have been getting a larger platform like Disney and Netflix and all the streaming services are coming here to like invest. But as cool as that is, I really want us to own our things, like be able to produce it ourselves, not have to rely on the West and their money because then they own it, you know.
Right.
At the end of the day, they just care about the money. Like, sure, they say, "Oh, we want more representation," but it's so like more people can watch it and then more money.
Hmm.
Um, but it's my hope but we also have to build the audience here. That's the thing. Especially for like for animation and I just film in general. Like, let me talk specifically about South Africa. because we just literally like a week ago we just celebrated 30 years since the end of apartheid. And we don't have a movie going culture here in South Africa, not really. And like when I go to the movies, like not a lot of people there, especially since before the pandemic, like since the pandemic. But most of like the cinemas are concentrated in the urban areas, like in the suburbs. That was predominantly white during apartheid. So, and that problem hasn't been rectified in like 30 years. So it's like up to the government's job, like to do that, and they haven't done that. So like the large majority of the population can't access a theater, it's a movie theater, and that's like as a result of spatial planning during apartheid. So it's like a generational problem, because like if we have more people like interested in animation and film in general, then like maybe more people will invest, like no, like in our own local stories, like have maybe like investors, like local investors invest in animation and film,
Yeah.
as opposed to like I don't know other tech stuff. So yeah.
And also having more resources for that, because a lot of times they take those things out of schools, and then there's really no place. I mean, everybody has access to like YouTube and things online, but I think having those things in person as well, so that you can meet other people with the same interests and have
Mm.
somebody, to mentor you and things like that. I think resources is a big thing too.
Yeah, definitely. Like, yeah, because also animation has a high barrier to entry for sure. Because like the tablet, computer, but also because who was I speaking to? I was speaking to somebody this week. I feel like I'm having a lot of conversations lately. But
Yeah.
basically, someone asked me like about the our barrier of entry into like film and animation, like between live action and animation. And I think it was like another two had done like I think it was Wednesday. But basically, like yes, animation is high barrier to entry, but also it can or it cannot be. All it takes is just picking up your pencil and drawing on pens and like and drawing on paper and have a flip book or just use this like paper and like just draw and draw. But obviously, you want to make like a super professional, high quality production, sure. Um, Maybe barrier to entry, definitely. But then yeah, like this YouTube, like a lot of self taught, like some of the best animators and artists like are self taught,
Yeah.
requires a lot of discipline for sure. Like it's really hard to be self taught, but it's definitely possible. But yeah, like I think it's getting better now, like especially resources because like yeah because like I studied in France. I studied animation in France, and like those guys are like when they show interest from a young age, and their parents encourage it to take them to like drawing classes and life drawing when they're a little bit older at high school. Like we don't have that, like and like now it's like some of that stuff is happening now, like it's starting to happen. But when I was like growing up, it didn't happen. So like there weren't that many like art classes specifically geared to animation, like learning how to draw for animation. So yeah, it's also like a resources thing and like access to those resources. I think it's getting better, but it's really a generational problem. Like
Mhm.
it's not gonna be solved in like next 10, 20, 30 years. Like I think it's like beyond like my life, like our lifetimes. Yeah, it's like for specifically South Africa and Africa. But
Mhm.
because like it took like the US and Japan like 100 years to build an industry, and we're kind of in that space now. Like we're trying to build an industry. Like we're literally like in the naissance of it. So if it took them 100 years, it's gonna take us like just as long to build that culture of going to the cinema and like being active in comics and animation and art.
Yeah, yeah, I hear what you're saying. And then I did want to ask you too, because I was wondering what the support was like around you growing up. Because I imagine maybe like if you say you want to do animation or film, and if people they don't see that happening for you, or they feel like that's too ambitious, do you have people kind of telling you like, oh, like I know you like that, but maybe you should do something else, or maybe you should
Mm.
do something where you're gonna make money? Like, did you have that, or were people kind of just supportive of you?
So I'm super fortunate. Like my parents always supported me from
Oh,
my
okay,
young.
that's
It's not
good.
like that. Like it's like a lot of people, like a lot of artists that I know in South Africa, like a lot of my friends, they have to like really struggle to get into animation, like to be an artist. But I'm really fortunate in the sense that I didn't have to struggle like to be an animator, like to take art classes. Like I went for life drawing classes at 16. And my parents like they supported me and took me to life drawing classes. I said I wanted to go study animation in France, and like they also like made that happen as well. So I like the exception to that because like most art is not just in South Africa, but like everywhere in the world. Like I think, well, actual. Let me not speak for everyone in the world. Maybe just in South Africa.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, okay, like gonna be an artist. That's not gonna make money from that. Like in South Africa, we animation is called Popeye. like it has this nickname because like Popeye is like the cartoon, so it's
Hmm.
like it's from that. It's like it's play on that. So it's like, oh, you're not gonna make money paying making Popeye. You can, you really can. If you're good, like at any other job in the world, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like especially with our history, like a lot of like black people, like 'cause most cause party only ended like 30 years ago, like quite literally 30 years ago, and it's really recent. And it's like our parents like grew up during apartheid, you know, and a lot of people that are still alive experience apartheid. So doing something like that, doing something creative, it's like it's like not was not possible to them. So they don't want like their
Yeah,
kids
see,
to
that's why I
suffer.
asked that because I like you were
Yeah,
saying there's a generational thing. So I think sometimes like the older folks kind of look at that as like, okay, you're just being ambitious. That's not really a career. That's like more of a
yeah,
hobby. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. So it's definitely that we definitely have that culture like 100%. I'm just like the one like outlier that this is like not had the experience. My parents always supported me and wanted to be an artist.
That's good. That's really good. And you feel like that kind of pushed you to really go after it for having a supportive family?
Yeah, for sure. Like, because I really don't know. Because I actually never thought about like what would I have done if my parents like gave me a lot of pushback. I think I still would have continued because like my friend, she's an actress, and her parents like gave her so much pushback. Like she had to fight and fight and fight, like to become an actress. Like now she's a successful actress, you know, and her parents didn't give her that support. So for me, I wonder like if my parents pushed back, like would I have given up? I don't know. I like to believe I would have found a way. I think I would have convinced them at some point.
Yeah. You're like, no, mom and dad, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I think I would have like because also because also my parents used to go to like the open days for like universities. I think my dad even went to like one without me when I was in like matric before our final year of high school matric. Yeah. So yeah, I think I definitely would have convinced my parents for sure.
And so did a lot of the inspiration for you when you were younger, did it come from books or TV or movies? Like where did it come from? Or do you think it was just kind of in your head to draw?
I think TV because like a
TV, yeah.
lot of my first drawings are like from characters from TV shows like Powerpuff Girls, Dragon Ball Z. I'm obsessed with Pokemon as well. Oh, something really cool. I met the voice actress for Ash this past weekend. We had Comic Con Cape Town. I was there, so I made like Veronica Taylor the voice actress. So that's something else to mention. But I was obsessed with Pokemon, and I really loved drawing Pokemon. I like drew Dragon Ball Z. Like I'm a really big anime fan, like Dragon Ball Z and well, not so much now. I watch anime movies, but TV series like definitely when I was growing up. But like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon were like the two first animes I ever watched. So I was like drawing them constantly, drawing Goku constantly, drawing the Powerpuff Girls, and I used to like make my own anime TV like characters as well.
Hmm.
So it's definitely I think for me TV as much as I love film. I only like got into reading books when I was like a teenager. So yeah, I think it's more TV where my inspiration comes from. It's like yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same for me too. I mean, it's kind of like in my podcast name where I think I watched a lot of TV when I was young, like probably too much. And then I think maybe as I've gotten older, maybe my interest has kind of shifted a little bit more to film, but I still really love TV as well. So that's why when I do this podcast, I like kind of being able to talk about both. And I like having people to come on and talk about, whether it's their film or their favorite TV show or things that inspired them when they were younger. Because I know
Yeah.
I watched a ton of TV.
Yeah, like for us, like our sacred hour, I think half hour, was it like Hoppers 4 or 5 o'clock? Like I think that's when Dragon Ball Z used to play. Like at either Hoppers 4 or 5, can't remember. But yeah, I know at a certain, back then you had to be there when it was playing. Couldn't just like check
Right.
calls or like watch it later. Like it's at 5 o'clock. You have to be there at 5. Make sure like I need to be home at 5. Make sure my parents get me home at 5 o'clock.
Yep, yep.
Watch Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I was like that in high school too. I used to be like obsessed with I don't know if you know Vampire Diaries. It was on
Yes.
it was on the CW and it would come on I think every Thursday and I would like run into the room
Yeah,
to just go and watch it.
like the Vampire Diaries was one of my favorite shows at that point when it came out. It used to play because yeah, it came out like in my first year of high school. It used
Yeah.
to play on Monday night, so I make sure I finish my homework so
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
watch
literally.
it.
It was like that serious that like and I tell my parents like don't talk to me. I'm trying to watch this. Like do not interrupt. I need to see what's
Yeah,
going on. Like it was
I need
for
to
real for
watch.
me.
like watch every episode. The only episode I missed was the first episode because I literally like forgot it premiered, and then like back then you had to wait months. So like after like I don't know if it was the entire first season or the first half of the season, but I think it was maybe the first half of the season. After the first half of the season like played, then it was like a break. So then like they started replaying it. So then like
Yeah.
after like 6 months, I finally watched the first episode because
Yeah, I
if you
remember
miss
that
it, you
too.
miss it. That's it.
Yeah, they used to always have, like, hiatus and stuff like that, like, even within the seasons, and it was like, "Bro, come on now." Like, you show, like, 3 or 4 episodes, and then they're like, "We'll be back in 2 weeks," and it was like, "Why?" Like, just show the rest of the season.
South Africa, it's worse because like we like back then we had to wait so long to get things from US. Like we would make wait months like because your TV seasons like starts in September, I think, and like for us it would maybe come out like months like the next year, like maybe March, April, maybe even a year later. But we
Wow.
would be way behind at some point. And now it's better. I think it's like since towards the end of high school, I think it starts to become better and definitely it's streaming control how we get everything at the same time because it's even the same with movies like we'd also like wait months like for like big blockbusters were a little bit different but even then like we still like maybe wait 2-3 months but sometimes we can wait like 6 months for a movie to come out after America.
Wow, that's interesting, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like I think it's a licensing thing like I don't know, TV film distribution is weird but yeah because like music like comes out everywhere at the same time. It's always been like
Right.
that. I don't have to think about it because even like with streaming, because you can get everything in one place. But even back then, like when an album came out, like no matter where in the world you were, like it came out at the same time um, in South Africa as well. But for film and TV, it's always been like disjointed. Even though now, like sure, like we get stuff at the same time, like generally, but like where like the platforms, like it's not. It's always like they haven't come together like streaming services have for like music as opposed to like film and television. Everyone wants their own streaming service, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody everybody wants to get your subscription, get your money. It's
Yeah,
getting ridiculous at this point, like, how many subscriptions
no,
are
it's
we
like
supposed to have? Like, I have to choose between usually I'll keep Netflix and I have Hulu because there's like a deal with Spotify they have. So I usually always have those 2, but like if something comes out on Disney Plus or I don't know, like Paramount or something like that, then I have to like switch out because I'm not paying for like all like 5
mm,
subscriptions at the same time. And it's
mm,
crazy. It's like how many like more are we gonna have to pay for?
yeah, like and I think Disney. Someone wants a monopoly. I don't know who. I think it's probably Disney that wants the monopoly or Warner Brothers. But yeah, like it's really annoying because I can't even watch everything that I want to watch. And sometimes I have to like struggle to find it or just not watch it at all. As opposed to music, I
Yeah.
can literally listen to whatever I want from any artist on one platform. I only have one streaming service, Spotify. That's
Mhm.
all I need.
Yep. Me too. Well, hopefully one day they'll get it together. I don't know.
Hope so as well.
Yeah. But I kind of wanted to go back to what you were saying earlier about how we were talking about how, like, a lot of Black creatives don't really get the same opportunities a lot of the times. And maybe I guess that's kind of changing now because we have TikTok and, well, maybe we won't if it gets banned, but we have TikTok and we have, like, social media as a whole. So we're able to be a little bit more visible now and things like that.
Mm.
Um, do you I mean, what do you think about, like, when it comes to social media? Do you think it's more, like, good, or do you think it's more harmful?
Well, I think for creative people, like, because I mean, social media has a lot of like facets to it. So, but in terms of for creativity, I think it's great, because people get to share their stuff, like build an audience on their own. Like some people, like they're successful, they don't need to go to the streaming service. They have YouTube, but YouTube's not really a social media platform. But like TikTok, like I think it's great, and like 'cause before TikTok was Vine, because I think even came back, that video came back, it, like comes from Vine that era. But yeah, and you get to like learn like if you're making your own TikToks, like you learn how to edit, you learn how to write, and like do all of that, like how to make like basically make an episode in like a minute or whatever, and then you get visibility as opposed to like having to go to a network or. No, I think social media is great for artists, for creatives, like 100%. I think it allows us more power and how we control like the distribution of our media, and also building like a fan base as well.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm 100% forward in that, like just for that specific thing. Some other things it's like
Right, right.
tricky.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And then I was doing an interview not too long ago, and I was asking him about like because he's he's done acting and he does writing and all this stuff, and I was asking him like where he saw filmmaking going within the next 10 years, just because like technology is advancing so fast. And he's really a fan of like the way movies were done back in the day. He likes kind of like the old school way. He doesn't like all the digital stuff. He thinks it's a little bit too much now. And I know there's been like controversy around Marvel films, like how maybe they're getting a little too, I guess they're starting to look a little too animated because they're so like high def, I guess. But I guess I wanted to ask you the same thing. Like, where do you think filmmaking is going to go within the next like 10 to 20 years? Like, how much do you think it will change?
It's a very good question. I don't know if I have the answers to that. Hmm. I think things would change. I don't know if like I'd like to. I think more around distribution, especially like I think because that's the biggest thing that's changed in the last like 5, 10 years, right? It's distribution of films more so than filmmaking itself. Like sure, we have more technology and whatnot, um, but I think it's really around distribution that's going to change because I hope cinema survives. I think cinema will always survive. I think cinema will survive and make a comeback. I think it's always been times like in wars, like people are not going to movies, and like now, like we're just coming out of the pandemic, and all over the world, the economy in every country is pretty much terrible. Um, so film, but like in terms of technology, yeah, as well. Like okay, like just definitely from a technological standpoint. Um, yeah, things will change, especially with AI. Like people are gonna make films within like 3 years, like entire feature films. I don't really consider films or art, but it's gonna be definitely possible because I think even people now testing it with AI. Also, yeah, and like the legality around it. I think AI like besides distribution, I think AI is probably the biggest hurdle we're gonna have to face as filmmakers in the next 5 to 10 years, and like the legislation around it, to protect artists and filmmakers. I Yeah, I really can't say for sure, but I think definitely AI is going to be the biggest thing to like impact our industry for sure, like and every other industry, but definitely filmmaking.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
Mm,
good. That's a good point too. And I know like there's some people who are like all for AI, and then some people are kind of like scared of it, and they're like, I don't want to do a lot, like we don't want to do too much with it because it's getting to the point where it's like scary, like
mm,
I mean, see like I think Drake just like released a song and he did like AI for like other rappers, and it was kind of like okay, like I mean I guess he was doing it to try to be cool, but it's also kind of creepy that he's using his voice to do like another rapper's voice. And just think if we didn't know that it was AI, then there might be some people that are like, oh, that is that rapper that's on the song, and it's not. So it's like just
mm,
imagine what they do when they start doing it with like or they probably already have started it with like people's
yeah,
faces and movies and things like that. And we're gonna be thinking like, oh, that is them, and it's not. Like that's scary.
yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, like we'll see. Like it's gonna be very interesting
Yeah.
for years.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Okay, I'm checking to see. It looks like there's a couple people in there. If anybody has questions, you guys should be able to leave them in the chat, and I should be able to see it on my end. Hopefully I don't. Hopefully, because sometimes this thing doesn't work right, but I think I should be able to see it on my end. And then if you guys have questions, just let me know, and we'll respond to them. But let me see. We're at 30 minutes now. I don't want to keep you on for too long because I know it's later there. Um, did you have anything else specifically that you wanted to talk about? Maybe if you could kind of tell people about a little bit more about the Kickstarter and like how they can donate and where they can go for
Okay,
it.
cool. Yeah, guys. So I have a Kickstarter campaign that's running. We have about 23 days left. So we reached our first goal in 2 days to fund the animatic of our film, but we have stretch goals. Like our first stretch goal is at 20,000 euro for character model sheets, and then 30,000 for to finish pre-production, and then 40,000 um start layout, and then 50,000, then we'll be able to get, because I mentioned the grant that I got. Then at 50,000, we'll be able to access that grant that we got like awarded. They're just withholding the funds until we have more of the budget. So if
Mhm.
you guys could please donate, like even though we reached our goal, we really do need the money, like the rest, to meet our stretch goals in order to make this film. I am super excited to make the animatic though, in a couple of, like after the Kickstarter ends. But yeah, the more money we make, the more animation we can make, and the best quality animation we can make. So yeah.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is like put the link in. I think I should be able to put the link in the chat, and then if you don't see it, even if you don't see it in the chat, it will be in the description. So if anybody watches this like after we finish live streaming, they should be able to see it
Yeah.
and go to it really quickly. The other thing I wanted to try to do was I wanted to try to see if I could share my screen just to like show your trailer.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like please do share them. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
aggravate me.
Um, let me see if I could do that. Well, I know I can share my screen, but I just want to see if it'll actually show on here so that way people can kind of see a little bit.
Cool.
Okay, let me know if you could see that.
Yeah. Oh, that's like the trailer of the trailer, because it's like our full trailer is about a minute and a half. But yeah, that's a teaser of the trailer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because the full trailer is on the Kickstarter page. So like if you go to the, it's not the actual campaign video. It's like further down in the page. But yeah, trailer's really awesome.
Set.
And who is, I don't know if you said who the
Set.
who's doing the voice of this character.
Well, actually, like, it's terrible of me, but I actually had forgotten. Because it's the announcer. So, because like actually my film is pretty much non-dialogue, so it's really like the only voice we hear is the announcer.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I am terrible for this because I'm the director, but
It's okay.
I actually can't remember the name, and I literally just spoken to him like a couple of weeks back, but yeah, I forgot his name. Yeah, yeah.
That's okay. And so how do you when you're kind of like trying to put this film together, how are you building your team? Like how do you know who's the right person to work with and who's gonna, kind of like really be able to kind of bring your vision to life?
I think it just happens organically because some art director, his name is Christopher Foster. Really like credit to him for like awesome visuals for the film, and yeah, and also like my mentor as well. So I was an intern under him, like because I mentioned this was an internship assignment first. So when I pitched my project, like he was there the first time I pitched it, like it was very different from what it is now. But he's like, if you ever get money, like come to me, because he had really liked my idea.
Mhm.
With my really bad drawings at the time, but he like enjoyed the idea. So and then I did get money 2 years later, and I got went. So it's because I knew him and he trained me. So he already had known my project, and he's from then like from the small idea. That's how I got him on board because he was the first person to hear it, and he liked it from then. Um, then my co-producers, I have French co-producers of Aikins on Views, so I posted the poster. Again, credit to the simple, like not the poster on Kickstarter, but the official poster. Well, it's literally the first image that you see besides like the thumbnail that we used.
Mhm.
I'm actually looking at it right now when I look up because it's like up on my wall.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Yes. So I posted that, and then like I mentioned I was going to Annecy because there's an animation festival there. It's like the biggest animation festival in the world. Like every year, like for a week, like 15,000 people flood that city. So I met them there, and like they kind of resonate with the project. Like they release it, and then again also like my script editor, Malopi with the Kazi. also knew her from like when I was an intern because she was working in the same space. So she knew my story then. So like when I got funding to like make my script, like she helped me out. Then my script consultant Pamela Ribbon, she's really awesome. We had like some master classes with Triggerfish like 2 years ago. She gave us a master class, and she's really cool. Like she gave us an email, and I continued to like email her. Then she offers like to help us as well, like with like giving consulting on the script. And then yeah, and like also from pitching, like my distributor and like oh now so she produces Munyaram, she also heard my pitch. Like the very first time I pitched it professionally, like in a pitching competition. Since then, like it took a while for it to come on board officially because yeah, like a lot of this happened like naturally and organically. I never because the people I really did want, like there was some producers I really did want in the project, and
Hmm.
like it just like when you try forcing it doesn't work out, like they're like not really interested. So I think like the best people for your film or your project, whatever you're working on, like it comes organically and naturally, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, and then I know you said earlier too that you kind of like the idea of like building a whole universe, or like maybe I think you were saying maybe even doing like more than one film. I don't know if you meant with the same characters or within the same story. So do you think if you were able to make the film, would there be like a feature length film, or would there be some type of continuation, like a part two and three?
I don't know. Actually, I get this question all the time. In fact, people always like whenever I pitch, the only comment I usually get because now like I've really refined my story, so people are not really criticizing it at this point. But I may be a little bit cocky to say no, but it's the truth. But the thing I really do get the most of the time is like, am I gonna make it like feature length? Mainly that actually wanted to make a want me to make it a TV series.
Mm,
Um, and I'm like, I don't know because I've been years in the short film, and I don't know if I have the stamina to make a TV series. Because if I got the funds to make my film like today, I'd be done like in 9 months, as opposed to a TV series. I'd be done like 3 4 years with the first season. Um, I really don't. I like because I have thought about it. Like, and I even have some ideas. I just don't know if I will go through with it or if I will develop it. Maybe like I will see. I will see. But I know I want to make feature films. I think I probably want to like focus on something else first. And maybe I don't know if I would give like if I made a. I think if I'm definitely making a feature, like if I made Naledi a feature, I think I definitely like be the one to do that. But the TV series, maybe I give the reins to someone else. I
mhm.
really don't know. Because I feel like there's a lot of story to tell, and I feel like these characters are bigger than me now. So I kind of feel like it would be selfish to just keep it all to me because I don't want to like continue. So I'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Like, I know it would be a lot to do a TV show. I think that'd be really cool though. But like you said, I know that that would, I mean, add more time to try to, make it happen. So yeah, I think that's something you could do if you do the short film and then just revisit it later if you feel like there is room for continuation or doing a TV series.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll see. Yeah, because I'm also like a very like stubborn person that's kind of like hit down like to everyone like no short film no then whatever later and like but I'll say I could change my mind. And like I'm really open because at first I was like I'm not ever making TV series and now like I get it so often I was like I'm opening up to the idea and I really am considering it like really and I think I definitely think that it should continue like besides the short film and I think probably a TV series because like if I did make a feature I think it'd probably just be the same story but in long form because
Right.
the story is like contained into 10 minutes. I feel like it works for 10 minutes, but I could
Mhm.
expand the story into like 90 minutes. I think I could do that. Um, I just don't know. I just have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope to see it regardless.
Yeah,
This
for
looks like.
sure. Like we're gonna make it. Like I know I believe in my team. I believe in myself. Like we're gonna make it no matter what. Like we're gonna find to make it. Or find a way to make it. Like we like raise money. So it's like people
Mhm.
do want to see this. And like now we have the proof. Like people, the public wants to see it. So it's gonna happen.
Yeah. And I definitely want you, if you would like to come back on when the film is made or when it's further along, just so we can kind of promote it a little bit more. Um, and then we can really talk about like what happens in the film once it's out.
Oh, for sure. I'd love to.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up because it's like 40 minutes, and like I said, I don't want to keep you on for too long. I don't know if you had any other things that you wanted to say. If you do, you could go ahead and say.
Not really, but what I will say for any aspiring filmmakers, I would say just keep at it and keep believing in your dream. I know it's hard, but it takes a long time. But there's someone, and there's the ones to hear what you have to say.
Mhm.
It may take a while to get there, but if you try and believe hard enough, I think it's possible.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I talk to, like I said, when I do interviews, I talk to like a lot of different independent filmmakers, and I like to ask them questions too, just because, like, I never know who's going to come across this and maybe wants to
Mm,
be in filmmaking or wants to be in the industry, and they don't really know how to get into it or what to do first. And so the biggest thing I've learned is talking to all these people that there is no one path to getting into this. Like, you don't have to go to film school, you don't have to do it this one way. Like, I mean, this I just did an interview with a filmmaker, and he was like, yeah, I went to law school for like a year and a half, and then he was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to be acting and writing. And
yeah,
so that just goes to show you, and then he's like, he has this film out now, and so I'm just like, there really is no one path. And so it's really kind of just figuring things out along the way.
100%. Like, yeah, we're all doing it.
Yeah, exactly. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for those who tuned in, and I believe that once we end the live stream, it should just automatically go on my YouTube channel. So if anybody missed the live, they should be able to replay it, and then if not, I'll post it on there. And then of course, if you guys have questions, even in the replay, you can leave them in the comment. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, and then like I said, I will add the Kickstarter link in the description. So if anybody wants to donate, please do. And also spread the word so more people can
Thank
know about
you.
it.
Yeah, guys, help us support independent animation. We need to
Right.
change what we
Support Black
see.
creators.
Please, but we need your help.
we
Like, we
need
really do.
it. We need it so bad.
This is well.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, Tiffany. It was really great to meet you.
Yeah, it was great to meet you too. I hope to be speaking with you again soon.
Definitely.
Okay, take care.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye.